going on, ladies and gents? Part 3 of the great one, Mark Levin and Leo the Lion. Leo done earned himself a new fan. And it's hard. It's hard to earn me over as a fan, but I'm a fan right now. I'm like, Leo. Yeah, I'm feeling like Leo right now is a champion for black folks. He done came so far. Leo done came so. If y'all not familiar with Leo the Lion, that's my new nickname I gave him. It's really Leo Terrell, but I call him Leo the Lion because he done found his boldness. That's right. So if y'all not familiar with Leo the Lion, Leo used to be this full-blown committed Democrat. He would get on TV on all the networks on Fox, and he would defend some of the dumbest policies coming from the left, some of the dumbest rhetoric. But Leo must have popped that red pill, and I'm loving it. So with no further ado, let's check out what Leo has to say about what Mark Levin asked, which was, why isn't Black Lives Matter concerned about all this violence outside of black men being killed by white cops? And I'm scratching my head saying, yeah, I don't know why either, Mark. What does Leo think? Let's check it out.
I'll tell you, you hit it right on the head. Here's the problem. This is why Black Lives Matter. It's basically, in my opinion, the Al Sharpton of the 21st century. They're profiteers. They are profiting on trying to give a narrative, a false narrative, that is white racist cops that's destroying the black community. You point out Chicago. No Black Lives presence walking through the neighborhood protesting to stop.
What? Are you kidding me? You mean to tell me there's no marching, there's no shut-ins, and we're going to occupy Chicago and set up a perimeter around where all the violence takes place? You mean tell me Black Lives Matter ain't that committed to the cause, where they want to step it up, step their game up, put their money where their mouth is? Remember the Guardian Angels? They used to go in where the violence was happening and say, you know what, we gonna deal with the source of the problem, considering more black men and kids and innocent black victims are being shot and killed every weekend in all of these democratically ran cities. Therefore, instead of waiting around for the next black person to get killed by a white cop, maybe we should go ahead and be proactive and get our hands dirty and go into the real hood and start talking to them gangbangers and them drug dealers and all of that stuff. Are y'all that tough? Are y'all that committed? What about Anti the Teeth, huh? I want to know if Antifa is willing to go into these inner city black neighborhoods that they claim they're fighting for and on behalf of them. Are they tough enough to go in there and hook up with the gangbangers and say, hey, look, we're coming with our mask on and our shades, and we're going to go ahead into this drug house and tear that up, burn that down? Where are they? Nowhere. Oh, they're going to safe route. So let me get this straight. Then you just go into statues, and because the media show up and make sure that the cops don't get out of hand with y'all, and all these democratically ran cities and the mayors and stuff, they tell the cops, take it easy on them. Don't do nothing to them. Let the kids have a little fun tearing up stuff, okay? And that's why they do that, because they know there's no repercussions. So I think Leo is onto something. Let's continue.
Black on black crime. Al Sharpton goes to the George Floyd funeral, used a funeral to launch a campaign speech attacking Donald Trump. I don't see Al Sharpton in Chicago. That 3-year-old kid who was killed. You know why? Because it's not profitable. There's no money to be made. And this narrative, which is, and again, I have the credibility. Attack me. As a civil rights attorney, I know there may be 1 or 2% of bad cops. But the 98%, they're great. And when you talk about Chicago, you talk about Atlanta, you talk about Washington, D.C. and L.A., this big lie, Mark, of systemic discrimination. How can you have systemic discrimination in Chicago when the leadership is minority? I know.
I just don't know what to do with this. Leo, you're killing it, man. You're killing it. Now, I've been saying this the whole time. If you're going to yell systemic racism, but yet at the top of the food chain are black folks, that destroys your whole argument. That's an oxymoron. If you're going to yell about the police and them being, violent towards black folks, and it's all because of racism and systemic racism and all that stuff. But the chief of police is black, or the mayor's black, or the governor's black. I have to question that with my logic, but they don't care about that stuff. See, because they know that they can push these narratives without a lot of black people stopping to think, well, yeah, that doesn't make sense. If you are at the top of the food chain, but you're telling me the system's corrupt, then that means the corruption starts with the head on down. That doesn't make sense. But you know what? I don't care about that. I'm just going to continue to tear up stuff because someone else told me this systemic racism is lurking. Let's get back to Leo.
What systemic discrimination is? It does not exist. But yet, this is the narrative that the Black Lives leadership portrays, the Democratic leadership, systemic discrimination. It doesn't exist. They don't know what they're talking about. This is not 1960. We don't have Bull Connor and the German Shepherds. This is 2020. African American, on your show. It's not like it was 50 years ago. But Black Lives Matter and the Democratic leadership wants you to think it's 1960. Well,
I've been saying that for quite some time. I mean, how can you create a full-blown false reality for a lot of citizens? And I'm going to tell you how you can do it. When you have the liberal media that is 90-something% of what people hear, you got all these bootleg, funky, stinking actors and athletes up here pushing this narrative, and you take a couple incidents that take place between cops and black people, and instead of just saying that was a dumb, stupid, corrupt cop, you decide to go the racist route. What you do is blast it on TV constantly. What you do is invoke all of the people in media, the people in entertainment, all of them, the athletes, all of them jump on board with this narrative, and they flood the minds of minorities. That's how you get people to buy into a false reality and make them think that we are being killed on a mega scale and have made no progress since 1920. But yet, when black people go about their day, I guarantee you, even these activists are not going around thinking, I'm going to be hunted and killed by a white nationalist today. It's all fake, guys. I'm going to tell you right now, it's all fake. The Black Lives Matter, Hyena Clan women, those three that's running the whole Black Lives Matter, I guarantee you when they go to Walmart, their thought is it, like they say it is on their website, where it's state-sanctioned violence against black people. I guarantee you they go through Walmart and shop and don't even worry about it. They're not sitting back thinking, well, man, these white people should be real emboldened if they're all white nationalists, hate black people, and the state gave them the green light to attack me. Why aren't they doing that? See? But you know what? Don't take my word for it. Let's listen to them.
I'm sick of that narrative.
And Leo, the Democrat Party doesn't have any answers. The Democrat Party runs these cities with an iron fist. It's one-party rule. All the money from the feds and the states and the local tax base flow through their hands. They choose the people for these highest positions, even police chiefs. The prosecutors are locally elected. They do not support school choice. They're in bed with these public sector unions. They don't introduce free market principles where people can be encouraged to make profits, to invest. All these things that the rest of the country does is not happening in our inner cities. And it's not because people are minorities. It's because you've got iron-fisted one-party rule that will not introduce true reform. It doesn't have a liberty agenda. It has a Democrat Party agenda. Does that make sense to you?
Oh, yeah. And the most important question that I learned in law school is why? Why do they do that? And I've been trying to figure it out, and I know why. It's pandering. It is their power base, Mark. They want their constituents, their constituents to believe that the Democratic Party and the government has to do everything. It's the only way they can stay in power. They don't.
Leo, he killing it, y'all. He killing it. He hit it right on the head. It's pandering because the Democrats have no platform. They have no good policies. They have no solution for the black inner cities. And I'm going to tell you right now, if they came up with real solutions, they wouldn't be voting for them. The whole business plan and strategy is to ensure that black people and other minorities remain mad for nothing. Because if you're mad for nothing based off of these recycled narratives that you're a victim, if you mad and looking at all the other people, you're not looking at the leadership. Nobody stops to think for a second, like, wait a minute, I'm in a predominantly black neighborhood ran by liberal and black leaders often, and yet they're telling me that things are bad and you're a victim. Well, shouldn't we be looking at y'all? If you're running the show and things are bad, shouldn't we be looking up like, what, you're the leaders here? And somehow, because of manipulation and pandering, they say, you know what, don't look at us. We would do, you know what, if it was up to us, we would take care of you guys. You see us trying through just using lip service. You hear us come in your neighborhoods every 4 years and tell you how we understand all of the atrocities and years of persecution and slavery that you all went through. And look, we even gave you guys the green light to tear up a few statues and stuff. But what we really need is to stay in power. And we need the black vote. Therefore, we're going to shuck and jive with you. We're going to sit down, crack open some hot sauce, maybe even throw a rap concert, try to dance, do that stuff, do some line dancing with you guys. You like that stuff. Maybe throw you a Beyonce concert, talk about eating fried chicken and some barbecue ribs, you know, the stuff you like, the fat back collard greens and the cornbread. You like that? You like that stuff, right, bro? Yeah, you like that stuff. Yeah, so we're here for you. And we will give you everything. If it wasn't from those racist conservatives, Donald Trump, and those white nationalists, and yet people with the puppy brain don't see how they're being played like a fiddle. I'm talking, they like just wearing them out. So anyway, Leo sees it and Leo's exposing it. Go ahead, Leo. Let's finish part 3 of The Great One and Leo the Lion.
Want charter school. They don't want choice. They don't want people of color to think for themselves, to work and make their own career choice. They want the government to hand out things. They want their constituents to believe that the government is everything for them. Well, I won't drink that Kool-Aid anymore, because choice, opportunity to make personal decisions has to take place for people of color, for anyone in this country, to move up. I made personal decisions to go to law school, to become a school teacher, to work. And I will no longer buy the rhetoric by Democrats to make the assumption that only government, Mark, only government can help you out. No one else. I refute and reject that premise.
And you know, the irony, Leo, is if you want to burn the system down, they are the system. They are the system in the inner cities, in these blue areas. And they want to make the system bigger and more powerful and more centralized, where people's independence, their liberty, their ability of free will is crushed. So on the one hand, they talk about the system. Well, they own the system. And on the other hand, they talk about burning it down. When we come back, I want to ask you, Leo Terrell, what kind of reaction are you getting among friends and colleagues that you've worked with in the past, since you're such an outspoken defender of justice and equality and order? We'll be right back.
Well, y'all gonna have to click on part 4 to find out Leo's response. Hey, I bet you it's probably one of those, hey, Leo, even though we know that most black people have been convinced that the Democratic Party is the only party we should support and vote for, we're excited about you being an independent thinker and vocalizing your opinion. Maybe that's it? You think so? And what's crazy is Mark Levin ended with something profound. Yeah, why aren't they burning down the system that the Democrats created? You know why? Because the Democrats just told y'all to go and burn down statues and leave us alone. That's right. Don't messing around, coming trying to burn down the Democratic Party, who was responsible for all the racism and segregation and the Jim Crow laws and the hanging and all of that stuff. Yeah, don't come messing with us. Don't go tearing down Planned Parenthoods that Margaret Sanger was responsible for building and putting in black neighborhoods. Don't do that. Nah, tear down some statues that we really don't care about anyway and would erase the history of our past and how we contributed to all this racism and stuff like that. We don't care nothing about that. What means something to us is power and control. So tear that mess down, and we can accuse all of those right-wingers who say you shouldn't do it as supporting racism and the Confederacy. See, I love exposing them. I couldn't let Leo just have all the fun, y'all. Couldn't let him have all the fun. I had to hit him with the Bill Dukes off of Predator. I'm gonna have me some fun. I'm gonna have me some fun. There's a girl named Sally. She's so sweet. Got everything that's good to me. Anyway, so we'll see y'all on part 4. Don't forget to hit like, share, subscribe, notification button. Check me out every Wednesday night live in Kevin's Corner on Facebook, YouTube, my radio blog talk show. And check out Extreme Tees. Link is below. If you like their products, put Kevin in the promo code. You get a 20% discount. Want to donate to Kevin and Kevin's Corner? There's links below to do that as well. God bless y'all. See y'all next time in Kevin's Corner.